opening statement. We'll take some questions.
Well, first of all, thank you guys all for being here, and I'd like to start by first thanking Abilene Christian and Coach Doral. I thought that they played a tremendous football game, and he's a heck of a football coach. They came ready to go. I told our guys that they were not the type of team that would go away, that they would fight, and that's what they did. And I had a lot of respect for them and the way that they played and the class with which they played. And it was an honor to take a knee with them at the end of the game and sit there and pray and give thanks with them. And we wish them the best for the rest of the year and for us as well. I'm really appreciative of all the people that came to the game tonight. The atmosphere, getting off the bus, the bear walk, being in the stadium, the buzz in the stadium, the crowd, the Baylor line, everything really is one of the great places on game day. And I'm just grateful to them and happy that we could get them a win. And really happy for all the people that have supported this team and this football program. Dr. Livingstone, who's here, Mac Rhodes, Jeremiah Dickey, all of the people here at Baylor. I truly believe that sometimes we wrestle with hey, can you be elite at things and still stand for something? And Dr. Livingstone's vision, Mac Rhodes' vision is, you can try to go be elite in football, and you can try to go be elite as a research institution and still stand for something. And so I'm proud of our guys, and but I'm thankful to them for all of their support and along this journey. And then most importantly, I'm really, really happy for our players. And they've been through so much, and for them to battle and win and finish, I challenged our team. I didn't want to be a front-running team. And the fact that we were able to go out there in the fourth quarter and get a fourth quarter shutout defensively, and they started with the ball in the 27 or whatever it was to start the fourth quarter. To me, that showed resilience. It showed moxie. It showed all the things that we're looking for. And so it wasn't a perfect game. We have a lot we have to correct, as you guys all know. But I thought we saw a lot of flashes. And for one night, our guys can go out there and enjoy a win. And most importantly, they can enjoy a win at home. They can walk out and see their family and friends, and they can hopefully go tailgate and hug their moms and hug their dads and hug their grandparents and know that all their work was not for naught, that they found a way to get it done tonight. So a lot of individual efforts that I know you guys are going to talk about. We did have 2 injuries. Charlie was ruled out in the middle of the game, hurt his back. And Josh Malin going down on the first play was really sad to see, and hopefully we'll see how he is. Eliasa Anderson hasn't played a snap here at Baylor, and he was really our 4th left tackle, and went out there and to go out there and run for almost 300 yards and have no sacks. That's a lot of guys. That's a lot of work. But Eliasa, I want to make sure I mention him. So a lot of guys were great today. A lot of guys did a lot of great things, but there's a lot of things we have to improve. So the process starts over again tomorrow. So with that, I'll see what questions you guys have.
Matt, how difficult was that to decide who was going to start at quarterback?
Really difficult and not difficult, because I knew I was going to play them both, but really difficult in terms of just being fair. But it's really difficult who to start at tailback too. We had 200-yard rushers tonight, and I knew they both could play. And we have Platt, but we have Tyquan Thornton out there as well. And so we have Mims, but we also have Pooh. So it's always hard at any position. But I thought both guys did a great job over the course of camp. Both guys went out there tonight and moved the football and found a way to, we threw for 300 yards. We had the one interception. It was a tip ball and it was a heck of a throw by Charlie, and we just kind of couldn't come down with it. But so I thought both guys found a way to make things happen. Both guys made big plays, and I was ready to put Gary in there if we needed. I was trying to save him with this new 4-game redshirt rule, and without knowing what the deal is with Charlie in terms of the extent of his injury, I thought best maybe to sit Gary and get Garrett in there at the end. But it wasn't easy, but it's never easy because you're deciding, young people's fates, and I think that has to be very, very, very well thought out and intentional when you make those decisions.
You say you don't know the extent of Charlie's back injury?
Yeah, during the game they just tell me so and so's down. I don't, I don't get a lot of information, so I don't know if that's he could have come back, he could practice tomorrow or not, so I don't really know the extent of Malin's injury. It certainly did not look good, so I'll find out probably when I leave here, I usually go in there, I talk to the team, I come in here, and our medical staff, they do such a tremendous job. One of the things I think I like that they do is they send guys to get them looked at and scanned and all that so that they know exactly what it is. So I'm sure they probably sent Charlie for an MRI or something, or a scan, or I guess that's the same thing, or an X-ray. So we'll find out what it is.
Coach, when you took over the job in December 2016, I'm sure you didn't think that it would take until September 1st of 2018 to pick up your first home win. But does it feel maybe a little bit different, a little bit sweeter than it might, just because you know what you've gone through this past season?
Well, for me, I just have really grown to like these players in this football team. And so it didn't mean I didn't like the other ones. Right before kickoff, I texted Taylor and Tayon and KJ and Nance and a bunch of guys thanking them because, they're the guys who, stood in the gap, last year. But I really like the way this team works. I like the way this team responds to challenges. It was fun for me to be able to go in at halftime and get after them. And so I've seen all the stories and all the little things that guys have been through and all the battles that guys are going through in their personal lives or, academic lives, and the way that they, it's 110 guys. And so it's really sweet for me to see them have a chance to just relax, take a breath, and say, hey, we found a way to go win. And they are winners, and so I said last week, you have to make a decision in life. Are you going to wait till you win to be confident, or are you going to be confident before you win? And I thought they played confidently. And I thought that showed out there. So I'm excited for them. I told them I hope they have a great, 24 hours, and I hope they come in tomorrow, though, fixated on, hey, let's go get ready for UTSA, come in Monday ready to go. I should say, I hope they come in on Monday fixated for UTSA ready to go.
Michael Hasty, terrific game rushing, but also out of the backfield, 4 catches, 67 yards. Just kind of talked about him kind of being that dual running back of, and you can rely on him in the passing game as well.
Yeah, JaMichael, he's a single digit for a reason. And, one of the things that's, pretty cool about him, here's a guy that, graduated from Baylor in 3 years, over a 3.0. So it's not just, hey, he's a dual threat in a lot of ways. He's a student. He's a captain type of a person. He's tough. He's competitive. And I think it's just all a glimpse of what he can do. He also had another touchdown call back, catching the ball in the backfield. So, and it's really nice to see, Lovett and Ebner also be able to play so they can spell each other. We got a little tired there at times. The guys were catching their breath. And, but really proud of JaMichael. I think they said it's his second career, 100-yard game. So hopefully we can get a lot more for him as we go.
Matt, over the course of a season, do you think a quarterback platoon can work, or would you rather settle on one guy?
I don't mind playing both. I really don't. I think all of us would rather probably have one guy, but it's not the same as it was maybe 15 years ago when we were in the huddle and looking in a guy's eyes and he was calling the play, and it was like, now they're getting like hand signals from the sideline and running plays. And so I think one of it is different guys do different things as well. Charlie we ran a triple option, and Charlie made a play that probably won't go very noticed where they pulled and pitched and got the ball to Ebner and he went running down the left sideline, and that's just part of what Charlie can do that not many guys can do. And, Jalen hit the deep ball to Hurd. So I just think, you use guys as you have them, just like you use different receivers and different running backs. So I'd rather have more quarterbacks than not. And, because guys get banged up. And sometimes it's not even long-term injuries, but if you're not at 100%, it's great to know there's another guy right there behind you. And we'll wake up, and we'll also start getting Gary a little bit more ready. Gary's, a guy we'd love to be able to redshirt, but if we can't, we can't. We'll have to move forward.
On that touchdown pass that Hurd caught, is that what you envision from him? That kind of athleticism, that kind of game ready, because he's pretty smooth on that stuff.
Yeah, I think, Jalen can do, a lot of things, and he's a special player. And, we threw him a couple bubbles and tried to get him the ball in his hands, hit him on that deep ball, hit him on an over route that looked like he was about a step away from breaking. And so, we didn't have a tremendous amount of plays in the first half. I think we only had like 32 plays because we were scoring on some longer plays, which is a good thing to have happen, right? But, it's his first game playing receiver. It's his first game playing since October of 2016, if you can imagine that. So I just think you'll see Jalen get better and better. It was cool to see Chris Platt out there. He had the long touchdown run called back, or touchdown catch, or to the one called back. But seeing those guys out there, I think that they'll just get better and better and better. And that was a team that, they kind of went to the Iowa State game plan halfway through the game where they started playing, shell coverage and just saying, hey, you're going to have to run it. And, so that maybe slowed us down a little bit in the second half. But, I thought our backs then stepped up and made the plays we needed them to make.
Coach, talk to me about your offensive line tonight and how that contributed to the success of your running backs.
Yeah, Pat Lawrence went out to represent us as a captain, which was really, I was proud of him and his work. Blake Blackmar's always been one of those guys. Sam Tecklenburg, Christian Beer getting his first start, Xavier Newman coming in, and again, they ran for 295 yards. They didn't give up a sack, and there's still work to be done. We weren't as good as I wanted us to be on third down. We were 2 of 9. Now some of those were late in the game where we weren't really trying to pour it on. We wanted to be respectful, and at the same time also wanted to keep their offense off the field. I wanted to slow the game down a little bit. You take away one short yardage play with a 3rd and 2 where we weren't able to get. I was really proud of the offensive line. And again, we're going to look up this week and probably have Fu Morgan back, maybe have John Carlo back this week or next. So hopefully our offensive line will, take this and build off it. And Coach Paterno used to always say you always get the biggest improvement you make is from week 1 to week 2. And so to start here with the offensive line, which was not our strength last week, hopefully we can make that jump and get significantly better up front.
On the flip side of that, was it encouraging in the first half on that 1st and goal play to see them get Jermichael into the end zone?
Yeah, absolutely. One of our emphasis was short yardage and was being able to knock the ball in, we had a tight end wing in there, and that was Connor Galvin, who's a true freshman offensive lineman, and it was Christoph Henley, who's a true freshman wing. And so, there were some guys that had some light in their eyes, man. They were wide-eyed, and so that's part of the fun to me is seeing guys grow and develop. And they've been going against each other, and they go out there and they say, "Hey, can I do this?" But I think halfway through that game, even Christoph, here's a young man from Austria. He gets here in the spring and he catches a pop pass down the middle and gets hit and comes up with it. So there's all these cool little stories, and everyone's on their own journey, and hopefully we can build off it. But I was proud to see us knock it in there.
I think that a lot of people were surprised to see that, after the way that Charlie ended last year, that there was a quarterback battle. Is this what you had seen from Jalen from the time the camp started?
Yeah, there's going to be a battle in everything that we do here. Everything's going to be competitive. So, and it doesn't mean that one guy. I think if you watch Jalen out there, you can see wow. He's got some physical tools and can do a lot of things. He's also really coachable. We had a 3rd and 2, we flipped it out to Jermichael, and I'm screaming at him, from the sideline. He walks over, he's like, "I got it." He's just a grown man, and Charlie's a competitor and a winner, and one's 22, one's 19, and so they're both going to just continue to do this. But to me, I want to have good players. I want to have as many as I can, and I want to have as many of them play. So even at the end of the game, you saw, Josh Fleeks get in there and kind of wait his turn, and, he just kind of takes off. And there's going to be a day this year where Fleeks is out there, busting at the seams. And so it was a good start. I wanted to make, especially in game 1, we'll make some more decisions as we go at every position, but you have to kind of see it on tape first. And so, I'd seen what Charlie could do. It just didn't seem right to me to not put Jalen in the game in the first quarter and see what he can do. And he hasn't had a lot of game reps, but he got out there. The moment wasn't too big for him. Charlie came right back, hit the deep post to Mims, and so I'm excited. If I could put both of them on the field at the same time, I probably would.
Now, just like Charlie and Jalen have different skills, is that the same way with Jermichael and Lovett, you think? That they kind of bring something different maybe that the other one doesn't?
Yeah, they're both good runners, but, Jermichael's, maybe a little more of wiggle. Lovett's a little more downhill, but they both find a way to get yards. And, Tristan, I thought, came out of the backfield tonight and caught some balls and got hit as he caught some balls, which were some big plays for us. And so, I think we have 3 good backs. And, I was sitting there debating whether to put Squirrel in, Craig Williams, but I know we're going to need him at some point, and I didn't want to burn one of those 4 games tonight on him. And Abram Smith got in there at the end. It was kind of fun. Abram coming off 2 ACLs. Here's a young man from Abilene, tears his ACL in high school. He signs with us. First day of practice, tears his ACL again. First day, when we started in that spring. And so all he's done is work, and he had a good camp, and it was nice to see him get out there and play. So, I liked our running back room all along. Jeff Nixon's done a great job with them. And Kirk Bryant, who's our offensive GA, he's a really good young coach, and he's done a fantastic job with those guys as well. And so, that was a step that we needed to make.
What you've seen from Jermichael throughout camp?
Yep, he's had a great camp. He's had a great camp. Missed practice one day because he was going to go graduate, which seemed like it made sense to miss the scrimmage to go graduate. But he's been like that all along. And here's what's important to me for you guys to know. He ran down on kickoff tonight. Like he didn't just go play running back. No, he ran down on kickoff. So, that number 6 means something. And he didn't just run down on the first one. So opening kickoff the second half, Jermichael Hasty's running down the field. And so there's a lot of guys like that are saying, hey, I'm all in. John Lovett ran down on kickoff tonight. Marcus Jones, everyone thinks, I said when I gave him the scholarship, I said, it's not just a nice story. That catch he made in the corner, that's a big-time football catch. So lots of cool little stories that I like to, look at. But overall, hopefully we can just take one more step this week. But I'm really proud of Jermichael. He's done it consistently for a long time now.
What did you see from your defense? What are the things you need to see from your defense from this one to get ready for UTSA?
Yeah, just too many big plays, and really, really big plays off, there were two kinds of big plays tonight. There were some double moves and trick plays that fooled us, and we knew that was going to happen. We said, hey, this is going to happen, play through it. And then we saw a couple long runs. That kid was fast now. We couldn't run him down. But a couple long runs where the ball cut back, and their receiver cracked our safety, and we were playing bump and run, and they were able to take 2 for 1. And so, obviously, that was kind of what happened a little bit. So it was early in the year last year, so we weren't able to do those things, and I'd like to see a little more pass rush. We had some guys that weren't in the game that can really rush. We had some guys that were in the game that, as the game got on, like that hit Lynch had on 4th down, I think it was, or 3rd down, knocked the ball out. Those were some big pivotal moments. Ira looked active, Bravion looked active, but we'll just have to continue to eliminate the big plays. It was great to get I thought we were going to have a defensive score there by Terrell. It was great to get a pick, get on the board that way, but it'll just be more eliminating the big plays, and we'll make a big step, I think, over the next week or two.
During the game, you guys are focused on what's happening out there, trying to win a game. But the game was 4 hours long. There was 18 jillion reviews during the game. Is there a way to do this better for the fans?
I was probably too focused tonight on, oh my goodness, let's finish this game off the right way. But I'm not going to say anything about, the reviews. I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm not saying I have anything negative to say. I was screaming for a review on the one,
But TV timeouts,
Yeah.
Is it hard to get in a flow?
Yeah, I think we're just kind of used to it now. This is my 7th year. I have 6 years as head coach. I'm just kind of used to, the TV timeouts and all that, so we just play right through them. And they did some things to speed the game up. They are starting the ball quick after a kickoff return. You got to get out there now. So I know they're working on all that. I think that, just a lot of little things happened tonight that were probably a little bit different, in terms of the reviews and things like that. So.
Now, when you have 2 quarterbacks like you obviously have, it's a luxury. Do you talk to them much? Is it Glenn Thomas? Do you say much? Or are they both just so competitive, they know what's going on and they know how to handle the situation?
Yeah, they're pros. I think the only thing I would say to them is this is not a comparison. It's a comparison for you guys. It's a comparison for us, but for them, you cannot live life comparing yourself to other people. You have to be the best that you can be, and you have to prepare yourself. And so they're both competitors, and they're both winners, and they're both going to have great careers. And they both went out there and played well tonight, and we won. So I think for them, would I like to get more? Yes. You always have to make sure you don't have that stuff start to creep in that everyone's going to say, well, it's hard to get in the flow if I'm not the quarterback. People will say all those things, right? But I didn't see the Alabama game tonight, but I'm pretty sure that they were going to play 2 quarterbacks. They talked about it, and I saw Ohio State this morning. They were playing 2 quarterbacks, and so it's just kind of the way college football is now. You have good players, get them out there, let them play, and one game it might be like this, one game it might be like this. But yeah, I think, I talked to all of our players. I try to talk to them about their roles and here's where you are and all that. I told them all, hey, you're in next series tonight. I was very clear with them. Glenn does a great job talking to them, and they're just both winners. There's not a bit of me that's concerned about that one bit, to be quite honest.
How is your staff kind of approaching the new redshirt rule? Like you mentioned, you thought about putting in Gary, but then you see that maybe Charlie's hurt, so you might need him later. Are these decisions that your staff has sat down and talked about, or are they decisions that kind of happen on the fly?
Oh, we sat down and talked about it, yeah, definitely. But it's like, hey, you say this is our plan, right? And then you switch midstream because of the different things that happen. It just really came down to more time. If it was, I don't know what the final score was, 55-20. If it was 55-0 at halftime, I might have played someone for a full half. But I looked at Squirrel and I said 9 minutes, and I just think Squirrel's special. We're going to use him at some point. So. we didn't really use anybody that was a true freshman tonight, and then hopefully we can use them sort of as the year goes along. And you hope for some guys there's incentive to get themselves ready to play at the end of the year. They're pushing to try to play more. So, but we definitely have talked about it, and we have guys in different categories, and then they adjust sort of based upon the game.
Now, will you have to look at film to judge, or can you tell what Elias and Connor did about that?
I'd have to see it, but they found a way to get it done, right? We have this little stupid little saying that we say all the time, and we're like, we say our standard is to be elite. What does it mean? We say do exactly what you're asked to do, whatever it takes. Do exactly what you're asked to do, whatever it takes. And so Elias went out there and was whatever it took meant tonight, and we found a way to get it done. And so a lot of times guys will say, well, I tried, but it was this, but it was that. Elias went out there and played, and I couldn't be happier for him. I was even in the pregame meal, I told everybody, I said, look, make sure you guys get your arms around these young guys. There were some young guys that were really, really nervous, and they went out and found a way to make it happen. So they'll be more confident next week, and we have to play a really good football team next week, so we'll have to get a lot better, and we'll be counting on a lot of those young guys. They have to become vets overnight, and that'll hopefully happen.
Seems like Connor Martin picked up where he left off last season, as far as being a reliable guy for you.
Yeah, I looked at him, I said, can you make it? Because that was just a terrible decision on third down. We should have just thrown the shallow cross and gotten field goal range, and that was on me, and he's like, yeah. So we kicked it, and he knocked it right through. And so happy for him, and it's just really good for everybody to know that, hey, we have a guy that can go out and get points. I think that was his career long. Is that correct? 50-yard career long. So fired up, and hopefully he can just continue to do this. So I thought Galich came out there, looked good. I mean, we had a lot of touchbacks tonight. Sedgwick and Galich both kicked off. Galich punted the ball well. Our punt fielding was not what I would like it to be, and we'll have to correct that. And those guys in the game, they were adjusting as they went, because Evelyn Christian did a great job. They came out and they were kind of rugbying and short punting it, and so Jalen and Tony, good to see Tony get that great first return, and he was maybe a block away from having a touchdown. So hopefully we can continue the special teams kind of where we left off tonight.
All right.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you.